Hey guys, it is Conte doing Sonic Riders yet again. Now, I'm gonna do something a bit different this time. Instead of doing missions modes, I'm going gonna do some regular races. I had a request lately about playing with some of the gear, but before I do that, I'm actually gonna look at some of these characters and some of the gear that they have. Like, I'll start with Sonic with the Blue Star 2, and as I do these videos, you'll be able to see the standard gear, and it'll provide a standard for comparison for other gear, whether they're better in certain ways. Since one of the categories in which gear are different are acceleration, I'm actually going to, instead of trying to get a good start, I'm actually going to mess up on purpose to test this thing's acceleration. So, soon enough you'll be able to see some of the Blue Star's specs. So, you see that the maximum speed for this gear in level 1 is 162 speed. I'll have to go over the other stuff later. Boosting speed is 200 at level 1, and at level 2 it's 230. And I'm gonna see how well this thing handles on rough terrain, which is not very well. So actually, that is a drastic loss of speed. The Blue Star only goes like 95 speed. So yeah, going on rough terrain is not a good idea with standard gear. Like the power type characters are better on going on rough terrain, but not by much. Obviously, this is not one of my better races. So, moving on, I'm going to Splash Canyon, and actually, before doing anything else, I'm going to show you another exclusive gear that Sonic has, which is the Blue Star 2. The thing is, I've already played through a lot of this gear before, so if you don't really know how this gear works, then you can go ahead and watch, but if you already played through the story, you probably already know some things about how gear like these work. Actually, if you look closely, the Blue Star's boosting speed is actually a bit faster than standard. On level 2 it's 235 speed, as you can see, whereas at level 1 it's 210. So that's a slight advantage, and that's in addition to the fact that the blue star is normally faster. Like it goes to 167 speed as its maximum instead of 162. And at top speed, it goes at 184. So that's a lot more advantageous when you're doing time attacks in races like those. So that's good to know. Now, I know the Blue Star 2 is weaker in power and cornering, but when you know the courses, you don't really need to worry about going fast on rough terrain or being able to turn really well. So, I mean, being able to go fast on rough terrain and being able to turn are probably better for people who are starting out, so they can recover if they make a mistake. Acceleration too, actually, but speed is more important when you get to know the courses, because you know the courses well enough where what you really need to know is how fast can the gear go. So now I'm gonna, instead of doing Sonic, I'm gonna move on to Tails. You'll notice he has better acceleration, slower speed, and slower power, but better cornering. The thing is, whichever character you choose affects how well the gear does. Like, you'll notice that Tails' maximum speed is only like 50, whereas with Sonic we got 162. Now some of you may argue that like the gear is slower, but actually if you look at the different kinds of gear, it actually, there's an extras menu in this game, and you can actually look and you see that the yellow tail looks like it has the same specs as the blue star. So, as you can see there, it does matter which character you choose, because different characters have different advantages. Like, the fly-type characters are better for getting more acceleration, and the speed-type characters are more inclined towards, well, you can guess that. But just because speed is fast doesn't mean it's always the best, because sometimes the different character types have better shortcuts. Like, this was actually, perhaps I shouldn't have chosen Tails for this, because this is definitely a power type course. You'll notice that there's a lot of robots around and stuff. Oh boy, this is not my race. So again, we have, instead of Tails, we're doing Knuckles. Okay, that I will. So actually, if you look closely at Knuckles' speed, Knuckles is actually slightly faster. Knuckles has, with the red rock, has a slightly faster speed than Tails with his yellow tail. It's actually 155. As the name implies, the advantage to having a power-type character is that you have increased power, which means your gear can handle better on rough terrain. But honestly, like I said before, that doesn't matter as much to people who know the game well enough. And honestly, in this place, I'm not really sure there are many places where I'm not sure there's any patches of rough terrain. Oh, I got someone behind me. That's not good. There was a certain move that I didn't really go over much, and that move is called the Tornado. When enemies are behind you, you can use the tornado to. Darn it. Whenever you have opponents behind you, you can use the tornado to attack enemies, but you do have to be careful with it because it slows you down and it takes your air. And when you're behind enemies, you have to do stuff like ride turbulence and do tricks. Of course, you also have to manipulate shortcuts to your advantage, and sometimes taking power-type or fly-type characters, even though they're slower, is better because they have shortcuts that help save you time. And that's a lot of the cases with the... That's often the case in courses like this that are in the Hero Grand Prix. So you do have to get into the game a little bit and test which routes are shortcuts and which ones aren't. So I'm gonna go with Amy Rose. Now, if you look closely, she has the same number of stars in every area as Sonic, but if you look closely, you'll notice that there is something different about her gear. Watch the speedometer as I make the start. Notice how her gear only goes to 158 top speed. That's actually... I mean, it may not be much, but it is kind of a geeky statistic that the Pink Rose is slower than the Blue Star. But I don't know. I know, like, Amy Rose is slower, but I don't really know how they balance it. How they balance their gear out with Sonic's being faster and all. They probably balance it out in some way, like making your gear accelerate faster, or go faster on rough terrain, or make it turn more easily. But I can't really easily tell. this is also a picture of how well gear normally turn, because there are some gear that have like 0 cornering power, so I do kind of need to compare which gears are better in that regard, or how they're worse. Ooh, that was bad. This looks a lot more optimal, because I have everyone else behind me. So another advantage of doing these free races is that, like with every race, you get the rings you collect in the rings you collect in each race are added to your account at the end of the race, and that allows you to buy extra gear, which I'm not gonna go, which I was gonna do, but I'm not really gonna go over them just yet, because that's the reason I did this, is kind of for a standard for comparison first. Now, with Jet's board, you'll find something vaguely interesting. Like, you'll notice that Jet's top speed, if you look closely, is only 160 speed, which is rather ironic because Sonic's Extreme Gear is actually slightly faster than that. It is a minuscule difference, but it is still faster, and it's pretty ironic because Wave's allegedly supposed to be a better mechanic with Extreme Gear than Tails and Eggman, so don't ask why, but so I mean, she'll probably be able to. It could be a debate, but honestly, if Wave is who she says she is, she should be able to find tutor gear to be faster than Sonic. Press the left and right arrow. Well, what do you know? I actually have to catch up with the world's fastest hedgehog. Kind of ironic, since that's actually what this game's been about. Or what Jet's goal was, anyway. Gonna see if I can catch up to him via this grind roll, but I guess not. So again, another way I'm gonna do that is by doing tricks. because the more you do tricks and turbulence, the faster you can go. Doing shortcuts also. Actually, maybe... I think I'm gonna do Red Canyon because I'm gonna choose Wave, and I think Night Chase isn't the best choice for a Fly-type character. Now, I know Jet's gear is slightly slower than Sonic's, but I'm not sure how Wave's compares to Tails. The thing is... doesn't look like her speed is any different, but if you look at her star stat, if you look at the character's, like, stats and the stars before you pick a gear, you'll notice that Wave has 3 stars in power and 2 stars in cornering, whereas Tails only has 2 stars in power and 3 in cornering. How does she balance with that thing? Well, some of you may argue that it's like plastic, but can you really harm people with regard to this plastic? And this is a stick of dynamite. Like, as far as speed is concerned, there's no difference between Wave and Tails, but Wave does have more power, does have more ability to keep her speed going on rough terrain, but not as well as cornering. So, now that I'm showcasing a power-type character, I am going to do Night Chase and work with Storm.
Hope you're ready for this!
The countdown has begun.
So anyway, the reason I was kind of concerned with doing... why I wanted to do a power-type character on a Night Chase was the Midnight Traffic. Because power-type characters are much more able to take advantage because they're able to knock barricades out of the way instead of spinning around and fail. Sorry, I couldn't think of a better word. So it... Hold on a second, let me get on a good straightaway and... Actually, it seems like Storm's gear is actually slightly faster than Knuckles by 3 units of speed. It's... like, I don't know, it's just like... speed. I think it's either like kilometers per hour or meters per second, but... not sure which one it is. It is kind of strange how fast you can go by performing tricks on that one shortcut, because you can go like 300 speed more than, whereas you can't really do that on any other, I don't think you can do that on any other place in the game. If you care to prove me wrong, say something in the description, but as far as I can tell, I can't really find anything. So now we're moving on to... I'm gonna do one last character. This is Eggman, and this is his gear, the E-Rider. It's actually... The thing is, I can't really scroll between gear because I don't have any bikes, and Eggman can only use bikes, and his gear
Do you think you can beat me?
is the E-Rider. Now, the E-Rider, it is Eggman's gear, but it's actually available for everyone. So, as you can see, the performance is higher because you can go 175. You can go pretty fast. Like he's like going 163 speed without even leveling up, but when you try to boost, you see he uses a lot more air. Wait, is that a... Okay. I thought he had like a megaphone of some sort on level 1, but at level 2 he has one of those boxing gloves like he had on Eggman, on his walker in Sonic Adventure 2. But the thing is, Eggman's gear, you consume a lot more air when you're doing special stuff like boosting and drifting. You also gain more air by doing tricks and stuff, but it's still something to consider. Also, as a bit of trivia, if you compare Sonic Adventure 2 with the voice for Eggman and Sonic Riders, you'll notice that Eggman actually has the same voice tracks as he does in Sonic Adventure 2. Like, I'll demonstrate in a minute. You'll recognize when he jumps. You'll recognize something familiar. That sound he just made is actually the jumping non-verbal line he made when he jumps in his walker in Sonic Adventure 2. Actually, after attacking him once, discovered he made the same owl noise too.
Trick combination.
But yeah, the voiceovers are the same. And this gear is a bit...
Eggman now.
So, it's a little strange. For some reason, Eggman's gear speed, it's only 173, whereas characters like... Yeah, but... I was thinking, if Sonic Speed was... The thing is, Sonic Speed on the Blue Star upgraded the... Sorry, I didn't mean to restart that.
Great start.
As I was saying, Sonic Speed was more than that, but theoretically, the E-Rider had 4 stars, so I was kind of expecting it to be more than that, but I guess not. But anyway, there are more characters, but I'm gonna cover those in another episode, because I still have yet to unlock them all, so I'll see you guys then, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and just react to it as you wish.